When most people hear the word budgeting, they instantly think of restrictions, sacrifice, or being told what not to do with their money. It's like a financial diet, something you commit to for a while, feel miserable about, and eventually give up on. But that's not how we do things here. Because budgeting, when done right, isn't about cutting your life down to size. It's about making sure your spending matches your purpose. It's about designing a life that aligns with your values, not one that just fits into a spreadsheet. That's the essence of your expense strategy, and why it's the first pillar we're going to tackle in this week's Strategic Alignment series. Now, let's clear up a big misconception. Spending isn't the enemy. Mindless spending is. Overspending on things that don't matter, that don't bring real value, that don't move you toward the life you truly want. That's where the problem lies. In fact, intentional spending, spending that honors your values and your freedom goals, is one of the most powerful tools you have in this journey. Most people jump straight into expense reduction without a filter. They say things like, I need to spend less on eating out, or I should cancel Netflix. But here's the problem. When you cut without clarity, it doesn't stick. It becomes a punishment. And sooner or later, you snap back to old habits. That's why we're not going to start with random cuts. We're going to start with alignment. Let's talk about the difference between cutting costs and cutting clutter. Cutting costs is about slashing numbers. Cutting clutter is about eliminating what no longer serves you. One is mechanical, the other is meaningful. When you cut clutter, like that subscription you signed up for 3 years ago and never use, or those impulse purchases made to feel better after a tough day, you're not just saving money, you're reclaiming attention, energy, and space in your life. Here's a simple example. Imagine you're spending Rs 4,000 a month on food delivery. Cutting costs might say, let's slash it to Rs 2,000. But what if you asked yourself instead, why am I ordering so often? Is it convenience? Or am I trying to reward myself for working long hours? Now you're digging deeper. Maybe you'll still spend that Rs 4,000, but now it includes a weekly dinner with your family that brings connection, or it funds a cooking class that supports your health goals. See the shift? Now remember the expense elimination funnel we introduced in week 2. Let's bring it back, but this time layer it with your core values. Ask yourself these refined questions for every spending category. Does this expense align with one of my top 3 values? Would I still choose this if no one saw it on Instagram? Is this contributing to the life I want to build, or just the image I want to maintain? Let's say one of your core values is family. Spending Rs 15,000 on a family vacation might feel more aligned than spending Rs 7,000 on branded shoes. Both are expenses, but only one nourishes your deeper purpose. That's the lens we want you to apply moving forward. Now, here's another truth bomb. Aligned spending doesn't always mean spending less. In fact, it may sometimes mean spending more, but on things that matter. If growth is a core value, investing in a course might be non-negotiable. If health is a value, quality food or fitness coaching might be worth every rupee. The key is intentionality. Why is this so important? Because financial stress doesn't come from the amount of money you spend. It comes from the disconnect between your money and your meaning. When your spending is aligned with your core values, it brings satisfaction. When it's not, it creates guilt, confusion, and eventually burnout. Let's connect this back to your bigger picture, your freedom number, your 5-year vision, and your ultimate goal of financial freedom. Every expense you make either accelerates or delays that freedom. That doesn't mean you should never treat yourself or enjoy life, but it does mean every rupee deserves to be put to work. Whether it's buying you peace, progress, or purpose. This is the beginning of your value-based expense strategy. A system where every rupee has a job that serves your life, not sabotages it. In the coming weeks, we're going to dive deep into smart expense design. You'll learn how to spot emotional spending triggers, Categorize your expenses based on purpose, joy, security, growth. Structure your fixed versus fluid expenses in a way that supports your peace of mind. Automate your aligned spending so you don't have to think about it every month. But for now, I want you to revisit your expenses once again. Not with the eyes of guilt, but with the clarity of your core values. Ask yourself, what expenses truly align with the kind of person I'm becoming? What can I remove that's just financial noise? Where can I redirect money to accelerate my journey to financial freedom? Remember, your expenses are not just numbers. They are expressions of your identity. And your identity from week 3 and the bonus mindset series is now rooted in values, clarity, and freedom, not social validation. So don't fall into the old trap of budgeting for the sake of budgeting. Design your spending around your purpose. Make your expenses work for you, not the other way around. Because when your spending aligns with your values, budgeting stops being a burden and starts becoming a blessing. See you in the next video, where we'll shift gears from managing what goes out to expanding what comes in. Your income strategy.